Nick Baldwin for BloodyElbow.com here with Bellator featherweight contender Emmanuel Sanchez, who is in Winnipeg at the Canadian Fighting Center for a 2-day seminar. Emmanuel will be taking part in the upcoming Bellator featherweight Grand Prix later this fall. Emmanuel, it's good to see you. What brings you north of the border?
Here to do a Tuesday seminar with our friends up here up north. Coach Giuseppe Di Natale, good affiliates and friends of ours from down in Rufusport. Really tight with our coach, my head coach Duke Rufus, and they go way back, probably before I was born. I'm not sure, but around that time they were fighting together, and now I'm here to spread the knowledge and enjoy Winnipeg.
I was going to ask you about how this place is connected to Rufusport, but I guess it kind of answers it.
Yeah, it kind of answers it right then and there. Yeah, our coach Duke Rufus was also a coach Giuseppe Di Natale's coach from back in his prime, in his fighting days, and for some of his fighters. And Anthony's been up here, Sergio's been up here. I'm sure some other guys have been up here if they haven't fought up here already. But yeah, I'm excited now. I'm up here too, so it's great.
You mentioned off air that you've been here before when it was snowing, when it was cold and way too cold and snowy. What do you make of Winnipeg? Have you seen the city much at all so far?
Oh, it's beautiful now. The downtown, the upside, north side, bad side, south side, whatever. All the good sides. But it's summertime. I enjoy being in nature. Yeah, like you said, last time I was here, it was buried in snow. So it's nice to finally see Winnipeg.
I want to talk about your last two fights. We'll go in chronological order. You, of course, had the chance to win the Bellator Featherweight Championship. You fell short in a very close fight, very competitive fight, very tough fight against Patricio Pitbull back in November. What was that experience like, first of all, going in there and finally getting a crack at the title that I think you probably should have fought for sooner?
It was great to finally have it. It didn't go my way, like you said. It was very close, highly contested. A lot of people argue that I won, so I really appreciate that very much. But I learned a lot. Obviously, there's still a lot more room for growth, and to me, that means I still, scratching the surface of my true potential. And so it taught me a lot, and then I took that into my last fight. Now I'm taking that into this Grand Prix now. So now I'm going into something that's much bigger and better. The last one would have just been one belt, one fight. Now this is something completely different, and a lot more is on the line, so it's great. After
that Pitbull fight, you bounced back in a rematch against Georgi Karakhanyan this past March. What was that like, having a rematch, fighting a guy for the second time, and as a guy who you don't lose much, what was it like to bounce back from the Pitbull fight?
It was very good to bounce back. Good main event, good headliner, and a good fight, with Georgi, because we have history. He thought that he beat me. I think he's kind of delusional, to be honest with you, that he thinks that he beat me, and so I really wanted to shut him up. I really wanted to silence the critics, silence him, and show him what's up, honestly.
Did you shut him up?
I believe so. I don't think he'll be wanting to fight me again. And if he does, then I'll do the same thing again. The Sanchez slap is ready. I had to slap him up a couple times for thinking that he beat me. I think it's kind of ridiculous that he think that he beat me the first time. There was some fouls and some ups and downs, but honestly, he wanted out of that fight the first time that we fought. Second time, I got to really dominate him, so that was great.
He stepped up on short notice for the rematch earlier this year. Was that tough adjusting, or because you fought him before, was it kind of a piece of cake?
I'd say a piece of cake. I was getting ready for somebody completely different, but I already knew his game. I didn't really see much that had changed within the year and a half, 2 years since we had fought, and he'd only, I think, had 2 or 3 fights in between. And I know I grow and learn every day, and between each and every fight, there's always something different that I want to bring, and I'm proud of myself. I wanted to finish him for sure. I really did want to knock him out, and he came with a completely different game plan or something. I don't know what he was thinking or what's going through his mind or his coaches or his team, but whatever. I did what I needed to do, and I got my hand raised and came out on top.
It's been 4 months since that fight. We're here in July now. Would you have expected to get back in there sooner, or I don't know when they announced the featherweight tournament, but were you kind of thinking after that fight, I'll just wait it out till that tournament starts?
I most definitely wanted to. I'd like to fight now. Bellator is on tonight, July 12th. Julia Budd and Ogle Rubin going at it. So I wanted on that card. Something in June, to keep me active and busy. But they sped up the featherweight Grand Prix. Obviously, they just announced Juan Archuleta will be challenging Patricio Pitbull for the featherweight title, and that's the first round of the Grand Prix. That's one fight. We don't know the rest of the matchups yet, so I don't know who I'm fighting, but I'd like to be on that card.
So you've been told you'll be part of the tournament, but you still don't know And you're not just saying that. Maybe you are. I don't know. You don't know who you're fighting yet.
I don't know who I'm fighting yet, and if I did, I'd love to say it, but maybe I'd have to keep it quiet. I don't know, but no, I don't know who I'm fighting yet. I think it's going to be quite a bit of a surprise. Truthfully, though, I think me and McKee, or me and Corrales, or me and Borix, I think someone who, because I want the winner, so. Yeah, one of these guys, that is right up there as well, too, undefeated or ready for the title. If Bellator feels that they're ready, I'd like the winner of that one.
So what was that call from Bellator like, saying, you're in the tournament, but we don't know who yet? I mean, they just call you and basically say that, or?
Yeah, that's what they gave me for the last fight as well, too. They wanted me as a headliner, wanted me on a poster, wanted me, something big to help promote this tournament that's up and coming. And you've seen that for, I think, everyone who's going to be in the tournament. Perhaps Pico as well, too, but Borix, I think we know for sure. Obviously, McKee, Corrales, and now you see Juan Archuleta and Patricio Pitbull. So, what a first round matchup, right? For the title. That's for the first round, and it's part of the Grand Prix. So if either of those guys, one of those guys is going to lose, and that means one of those guys won't be going on in the Grand Prix. So it's wow, what a great start.
Are you surprised they made that so early? Because that feels like a semifinal to me. That doesn't feel like an opening round match.
Right, that does feel like a semifinal. That does seem like something. Wow,
Winner moves on to the title fight, so to speak.
Absolutely, but Bellator, man, they're doing great things, big, surprising things. They shock the world, they really do, and I think they keep a lot of fans, biting their nails and anxious to know the news and hear who's in it, hear the matchups, and where the fights are going to take place. That's another thing fans are looking forward to.
So you mentioned AJ McKee, you mentioned Adam Boric, John Macapa. Is there any one that sort of is ideal for you for your opening fight?
My opening fight, truthfully, I don't, I can't pick and choose. I don't care. As long as, like I just aforementioned, as long as I'm on the same side of the bracket where I get the winner of, Archuleta and Patricio Pitbull. But if not, you know what? I'll do what I need to do. I know what the mission is. It's go out and take everyone out, destroy everyone, dominate everyone, and come out as the featherweight Grand Prix world champion.
Obviously, you're only focused on yourself and thinking about yourself, but talk about some of the, there's going to be 16 fighters in this tournament. It's a big tournament. It might take a while. Who, aside from yourself, who might be a dark horse? I don't think you'd be a dark horse anyways, but who could be? Who are you looking at isn't one of those top guys, Pitbull and Archuleta, McKee, that no one, not as many people are talking about? Who could be that dark horse that maybe makes it a bit far?
Mm-hmm. Truthfully, I think it's me. I think. So
you feel like you're a dark horse? I feel like people are talking about you as maybe going to the finals or close to it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I think a lot of people, fans-wise, or maybe it's just their fans, I don't know what I see, but they're a little more behind Corrales or McKee or guys who they feel is deserving of a title shot, because those guys have been doing great. I will give them that. They have been fighting, good top competition. They have shined in their last previous fights. So I was shocked as well, too, that Archuleta got it over McKee or Corrales, because Archuleta just fought Eduardo Dantas, and then before that, Ricky Bandejas. So, I'm not saying that Juan Archuleta isn't deserving, but, to pass up two other guys who have been in Bellator a little longer and fought other previous champs like Daniel Strauss or Pat Curran, other big names in the division, I would assume that they would have gotten the shot. But you never know. They might be the first round matchup, and they might get the winner of that one. So that's what Bellator maybe their plans is. Or it might be me. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not the president. If I was to think, imagine a dream matchup. Let's say me versus Borix, McKee versus Corrales. Okay, McKee, Corrales. Winner gets me, Borix winner, and then we get Archuleta, Pitbull winner. But we have no idea. I have no idea how these brackets are going to be set up. I have no idea what's going to go down. I'm assuming all the fights will be 5 rounds, though, because obviously Pitbull is the champion. He's in it, and that's what they've done for welterweight, and I believe heavyweight as well, too, and leaving nothing up to chance. They won all these fights, as exciting fights, all great fighters. And I think, truthfully, I'm the dark horse. It could be John Macapa as well, too, if he's in it. If not, Daniel Strauss, perhaps. Coker only gave me a few names, but he didn't say who's for sure, who isn't for sure, etc. So we'll see. They might, from what he said as well, too, perhaps invite Darian Caldwell, or other bantamweights up to 45, or maybe guys at lightweight might make a surprise, want to make the drop down to 45. You never know. So We'll see, man. It's going to be exciting.
What's the toughest thing or the biggest challenge about fighting in a tournament, do you think?
I think the biggest challenge is people knowing that, okay, you got one big win, all right, first round is done, but you still know you have the next one, and then the next one, and then and you know who you're fighting. And sometimes when you don't have these Grand Prix, that's why they're so big and so great. Sometimes you don't know who, guys get passed up for title shots all the time. It depends on who sells tickets, who puts butts in seats. It goes to show that rankings, wins, finishes, whatever, a lot of times they don't matter. It's who's the right fight, what makes the right fight. So, injuries happen too, so guys step in, and MMA is crazy. MMA is crazy, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to just go in, and we know, okay, 16. So we know the numbers, 3 to the final, 4 to win it all. So I know that there's 4 guys that I got to take out, and they could potentially be rematches. A lot of them rematches with Corrales, a rebook with McKee, a rematch with Pitbull. You never know who they're going to give me. So
last question, because I know they're starting to set up the seminar pretty soon. What do you think this tournament means for the division? What does it do for the division as far as anticipation and growth and things like that?
I think it's great for the sport of MMA. Bellator as well too, done something completely huge, really, really huge. Gone from heavyweight, then going down to welterweight, once heavyweight ended. Now welterweight is going to end. We know the final now, a rematch with Lima and Rory McDonald. It's going to be a great fight as well too. And then beginning now featherweight. So man, it's very exciting, because then okay, once the first round is done, now the final 8, then the final 4, then the final 2, and then there you go, man. So I think it's huge for the sport of MMA. You see the PFL doing it, One Championship doing it, with kickboxing and everything as well too. It takes you back to those K1 days, or Pride, anything, with all the great fighters, and it goes to that question, who is the greatest? Who is the best? Who can show up on Fight Night? Who can win it all? And I think that's another big thing with pressure too, is that a lot of these guys in the division, they're not used to being as active as I am. Through my Bellator tenure, I've fought 4 or more times a year in each and every one of my fights, back-to-back fights. Every 2 weeks, sometimes with one of my best years, I was already signing the next contract for the next fight. So I know I have that edge and that step ahead over most of these guys. I've faced most of these guys already, and you never know. They might put me, like I said, against the guys that I haven't faced yet, like McKee or Borix or Macapa or, actually there's another guy right now that I really want. Who knows if he's going to be in it, but Daniel Weichel. Actually, I'd really like to go out there and really destroy him because he knows he didn't beat me. So
really fast, do you know when your first fight will be?
September 28th, they announced at LA, Pitbull and Archuleta, and that's what they told me. They told me to be ready for September 28th, so that will be in LA in the Forum. So I think you can see me on that card as well too. So we'll see what they're going to make happen.
Awesome, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Enjoy the seminars over the weekend, and best of luck to you in the first round and throughout the tournament later this year.